Good morning, everybody. We actually have music on Coffee Pan Dulce. What? And my maximum skill of the iTunes machine. So good morning, and this is the first show of September, actually. So
Yay!
To it's the last partial month of summer, and in a few weeks it'll be the first partial month of fall. So
that's right.
We're in that.
That's right.
That autumn switchover, equinox, and everything like that. So good morning, Christian. Good morning, Barb. How are y'all doing?
Good morning, Jenny. Thank you for doing our music because we haven't had music the last 2 weeks. My fault. It's the new computer. Yeah, exactly. So as Jenny said, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on Coffee Pan Dulce. I'm Christian Connie, one of your co-hosts, along with Jenny Gunn, Barb Bacon, and Mama Ruth. We're Mama Ruthless. We are in our fall schedule, September, October, November shows, and we will be posting those schedules on the Facebook page this week. And today's show, we're going to keep it short because I'm actually on the road and in a television. Can you see the?
Yeah, you look like you're in my old-time TV.
I'm in a console.
I'm the only one old enough to remember TVs that look like that.
I see those in the Smithsonian, so it's.
Yes,
I'm just kidding.
that's right.
Oh my God! I just put myself in the Smithsonian. Oh no!
my parents' original, the only TV we had, the main living room TV was an RCA with the big old dials like on that whole deal. No remote control, obviously.
And the children were the remote control. Change the channel.
Yeah, we were, but it was that old school deal.
Yes.
It finally died in about 1980. We had a funeral for it. In fact,
and they were heavy too.
Yeah, they were. It had its own legs. It was just that big console TV. It was a piece of furniture, and it actually. Actually, a lot of people take the old ones and make them piece of furniture now, and they're kind of that Art Deco. They don't use them as TVs anymore. Yeah. But the craftsmanship of these TVs were phenomenal. You don't see that.
It was crazy
anymore. So it was kind of cool. Yeah. But anyway, I know we got to.
Yeah. We're going to try to, for those who are watching us, thank you for those who join us on Facebook Live, but also those who join us on YouTube later and Facebook later, and the thousands that join us, listen to us on your favorite audio podcast platform. So with that said, this is the first show that we've ever done. It's our 209th show, I believe, or something around there, that I have forgot the Pan Dulce.
Oh, no.
We want to thank I forgot my mug, so whatever you're drinking this morning, salute to our neighbors. And then we would normally have beautiful looking Pan Dulce, so let's just act like I may have to pixel it in here when we edit it. Thank you for
the pig.
That's right.
And the new donuts too, those little mini donuts.
And the donuts. So we want to thank our producer, sponsor, and supplier, Manolo's Bakery in Charlotte, North Carolina, on Central Avenue. Manolo's Bakery. Please visit all your Black and brown small businesses during this global pandemic, or any local business. Just buy local. With that said, we're going to immediately go into our 3 current events. I'm sorry. Introduce yourselves. 30 seconds or less. Jen, go ahead. Please start.
Jenny-Jaymes Gunn, local LGBT advocate and all-around busybody. Barb?
I'm Barb Bacon. I'm here in South Charlotte, and I'm a community, whatever they need. That's what I try to do. So, to you, Christian.
I'm Christian Cano, your other co-host, and all the buttons. Watch the other shows. Okay, with that said, here is our 3 current events today, in 30 seconds or less. The first half, we're going to try to get through these. There is a preacher in North Texas that is known for saying hateful stuff, hate speech, and he recently said that women should not be allowed to wear pants. They are devils if they wear pants, and they're also cross-dressers. That's what he said. He's a preacher in North Texas. Also, the unthinkable, this is the headline, Democrats see once unthinkable a narrow path to keeping the House. So there's actually, tides seem to be turning a little bit. See when you comment on that. And actually looks like that, we still got a lot of time, but we may keep both the House and the Senate. we'll see what happens. And then the third one, Marjorie Taylor, Jenny calls her Marjorie 3-Name Green, or I can't remember her name. Anyway, right. MTG was talking to two right-wing reporters at some fair in Pennsylvania, and they were talking to her, and she was in mid-sentence, and the crazy guy who's running for governor walked in, and they literally left her in mid-sentence, walked away, and she goes, "Oh." So it's been all over the news. Okay, if you want to comment on any of those, 30 seconds or less. It's actually a funny video. Go ahead, Jen.
Well, I'll go real quick. The North Texas preacher, I guess he shouldn't trip over 1955. Like, that's bizarre. That just tells you the state of evangelical Christo-terrorist mentality that women are the devil if they wear pants. I'm like, wow, that's that. I don't even know what else to say besides it just sounds extremely stupid and irrelevant and just, I don't know. MTG, I don't know, Party makes fun of her. It's just, it's almost like punching down now. I mean, it's she's at the point where nothing she says is worth making fun of or giving her the press or even reposting her anymore. And she's at the point when her nuttiness has gotten so nutty to the Republican Party, they're just looking at her going, "You're just making their points. You're getting to the point where you are proving, every time you open your mouth, you prove how stupid you really are." She's almost not even worth talking about. She's a waste of airtime, in my opinion. She just got, at least Trump is still kind of funny in his delusion. Honestly, okay. He's like at the Don Quixote level.
How about the Dems?
The Dems have more than a legit shot of holding both chambers of the Congress. You can see what happened in Alaska and the special election to replace somebody, I believe, that passed away or got removed from office. I can't remember. That's what happened. Yep. And the first win of a congressional seat in Alaska
in 50 years.
Yeah. If that doesn't spell Rovember to remember and blue wave, with that, it's more like going to be probably more like a blue tsunami. You look at the Kansas thing, you can look at the Alaskan thing, and you're talking about a really famous Alaskan too that lost from the Republican side.
Sarah Palin.
Somebody that ran, guaranteed McCain's loss, but because there was no flipping way, independents were going to vote for Sarah Palin because she was one heart attack or one bullet away from being president. That was never going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Jen. And Barb, you want to comment on any of those in 30 seconds or less?
I will just say that Marjorie Taylor Greene has so far surpassed Sarah Palin that it's just hysterical. Yes, I would be happy with a blue wind. I don't want a tsunami.
A blue breeze.
And I'm not even a Democrat, but I'm just so sick of the Republican Party that I can't even stand it. And I forgot what the other one was.
The pastor in North Texas.
Oh, don't even talk to me about that.
Okay. All right.
I remember when I could first wear pants, and I'm so happy. And if they try to take those away, they're going to see more than a blue wave. They're going to see women with guns, I think. He should just stick his head in the toilet or something. I guess that was all three. Wow, that was quick. All right. And then Jenny said everything. The pastor, he said some really, really nasty stuff about the LGBT community. And basically he said that women who wear pants are just like cross-dressers, and the men need to burn their possessions because they're encouraging cross-dressing. Anyway, he's from North Texas. You can look him up. I don't want to give him his name. MTG, you've got to watch the video. She's sitting there talking to both of them, and the candidate, it's at a state fair. The candidate walks up, and they literally just go, "Oh," and she goes, "Oh," and it's like she got dissed. So, and then the damn things. I'm crossing my fingers. I'll be just happy with a little wind.
a blue wind. But what they said the other day was Biden's speech on Thursday night. The reason he used the term MAGA Republicans is because he knew they would get upset, and that he was baiting Trump to get back into the election, because the more Trump talks, the more it hurts the Republicans. Yes. Yeah. So, Jen, you want to comment real quickly on any of those before we go to our first break?
I'm going to talk about the Biden thing on the next show, but I love it when a sitting Democratic president, uses pimp hand strong. I mean, he rolled the Republicans the way he should have. In fact, I always feel like he was too nice. But he was very strong. He was very affirmative, and he called them exactly what they are. Exactly. They fly the flag of three fascists: Trump, the Confederate Army, the Confederate States of America, and the Nazi flag. And if you're going to fly those flags, which were flags of fascism, and you call us Antifa, which is anti-fascist, then what does that make you? Say it with the class. You are a fucking fascist. And he just said. I mean, they literally beat cops. With these flags. Actually punched people with those flags. And so, what else is there to say? If the shoe fits, good point. I mean, I remember 2016 and 2017. I remember them saying, "Fuck your feelings, snowflakes." Well, guess what?
Right back at you.
Okay. Well, thanks, Jen. And Barb, you want to add anything before we go? We're just only taking one break today. So,
did you see the mother that started talking about her poor son that's in jail from January 6th, and he was so shouldn't be there, and they show a picture of him, and he's got a Hitler mustache, and he showed up in a suit, and I'm like, what is going on? It's just like.
Well, interestingly, I know Jenny and I talked briefly before we started taping the show, but and she doesn't really want to go into this, but we've been getting a lot of comments on our shows over the last week, and one of them, quite a few of them, and first of all, I'm happy they're watching our show. The more they click, but apparently they keep liking us, and we've been getting a lot of comments about the MAGA show. Are they the new welfare queens? And they want to get into debate about back and forth. So we're going to talk about our topic today. Our topic is actually part 2. Which one is the America's dumbest state? But actually, when you see this, the title of the show will be changed. It will be called Part 2: Pendejo American States. So the pendejo is a Spanish term for stupid, crazy. It can be used for many, many ways. It can be used more derogatory, but this is not a derogatory. This is just like the crazy, wacko states. So it's going to be now the pendejo states. We're going to take our break, and there's going to be three commercials in this one. One of them is about Jenny's show that comes on about 30 minutes after this. It's called Two Queers in a Truck, where she really lets her hair down and talks about all kinds of great issues, great topics. And then also the other one will be talking about our last very PSA for the MPX virus. So we'll be back on Coffee Pan Dulce. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching our Coffee Pan Dulce show every week. Don't forget you can watch us visually on our video podcast platforms on Facebook and YouTube, but you can also listen to us on your favorite audio podcast platforms like Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all of the other ones that your favorite, whatever your favorite is. Once again, thank you for watching us on Coffee Pan Dulce. We'll dance out.
Up next is Two Queers in a Truck with Jenny and Christian. And hope you guys tune in. We'll see you in about 15 to 20 minutes. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much. So we got about 17 minutes left for this show. We're going to keep it short. Today's topic. Jenny, I'm going to let you start. We had a show about 3 months ago talking about which is the dumbest American state, and it was between Florida and Texas. We debated those two. So we've had a couple of months. A lot's been going on in those states. Who do you think? And Barbara, I'll get yours second here. Who would you consider the dumbest American state right now?
Right now? I still got to put Texas and Florida in the mix. I mean, those governors of those two states, Dick Suckus and Abbott, they're always going to keep them in the running until they get fired. They're national and worldwide embarrassment. I think you got to throw Georgia in there, just because of the jackass governor, trying to play down him taking people off the voter rolls at the last minute and all the chicanery that Stacey's not having. She's nailing him on the debate stage, and there's no way he's going to tap dance around her. I really, really, really hope she wins. I really, really hope she wins. Georgia deserves a way better governor than that criminal. And to be Georgia, Florida, and Texas with the loser governors that they have, and I mean they are losers. I mean, just tragic, horrific, embarrassing people that use their office to bully citizens, to hurt citizens, to make teachers not want to teach anymore. I mean, with desperation moves like saying if you're a veteran, you don't even have to have a certificate, you don't have to have any college hours. Come on in, we need you. I've ran off teachers, so I want to do something performative yet really insanely stupid by putting completely unqualified. And I'm not knocking the military.
That's Florida, right? Okay.
This is Florida. This is Dick Suckus' plan since he ran off about 50,000 teachers because they're
every time you say that.
It just fits. He's just screaming to come out and be in a gay pride parade. He's just dying. Like his best work will be on his knee. But after he's out of office, which will be over in about a few months. But literally, if there was ever a Pendejo governor that would be in the permanent Pendejo Hall of Fame, it would be Dick Suckus.
That's what I think too.
And I'm pretty sure Abbott would be right there with him, helping him out, helping a brother out in many different ways.
Okay. All right, Jen. Hey, Jen.
Governor of Texas holding the camera. But anyway, but that's a different show.
So those of us who are watching, our viewers or listeners from Texas, you know exactly who she's talking about, Lady Patrick. All right. Barb, what do you think?
I still think it's Texas. I really, when I lived in Texas briefly in 2017 and a little bit into 2018, I learned a lot more about Abbott than I really wanted to know, just based on feedback from customers and neighbors. I think DeSantis is just trying to be outrageous because I really think he's going to run for president. And I think he's just trying to grab attention. I don't pay that much attention to him, I guess, because I'm sticking with Texas.
Okay.
All right. Well, Mississippi, with all their problems in Jackson, is rising in the ranks. And nobody is helping them out. It's like the feds have to walk in. Where's their governor? And they're not even making any excuses. So, but I'm still voting for Texas. It's bigger anyway.
That's right. I was kind of debating on Texas because, I just spent time in Texas very, very recently and in Florida. And my vote is going to be content for Florida. He's the biggest pendejo. Abbott is still doing crazy stuff, but Abbott is he's gonna kind of quiet a little bit as he gets closer to the election. Dick Suckus, is that how you call him, Jenny? Dick Suckus. Dick Suckus.
I hyphenate it like sometimes they do the little phonetic deal. DIK. SUC and then us. And so I go, I learned on Hooked on Phonics, so which is better than 99% of the Republicans. But Dick Suckus.
He's more performative. He's more Trumpish. and he's very smug, and he's just so he's, to me, the bigger fear, because he is like Trump, he doesn't want to get shamed, so he will never apologize. He will continue to until he gets beat. And so in many ways, I hope that's good, because I think there are people who live in Florida who will say he's getting, obviously some people like it, but I do think that there comes a point where people start to say he's getting too big for his britches.
Well, I don't know. What do you both think about the brown communities in Florida? What do they think of him?
Jen, you want to comment? I can tell you what I felt when I was down in South Florida, but Jen, you want to say anything? Or
I can't really comment about the Latinx communities. I'm adopted by them, but I definitely would not dare speak for a community I do not belong to. But I will say, from a activist point of view, and I've got a lot of friends that live down in Florida, a lot of connections to Florida, from the travel business too. I will say, without a shadow of a doubt, no matter where your politics fall, when you cause massive disruptions in the school system, for example, which with unnecessary stupidity, I mean unnecessary stupidity, like don't say gay, for example, you made the Florida, that has always been kind of an iffy state, look like what is going on down there? Did they put too much lead in the water? I mean, it's just what clearly, is and you can point to one person that has pushed the envelope to the point where somebody that actually cares about him, which that could be the problem, needs to pull him to the side and go, "Hey, bud, less is more." And you look like a fucking fool. You if you have any aspirations past this fall of ever holding office again, you've got to calm some of this down. Like you've gone to the point where even if you tried to run later on, and this is the difference between him and Trump. So Trump did not have a resume in political office before 2016. Sure. So he could say whatever he wanted about himself and be as exaggerated as he wanted to be, because he didn't have a record to run on. Whereas, for example, we got all the receipts.
Sure.
And so if he ever wants to run in a presidential primary, he's making the videos for his Republican opponents in 2024. He's literally creating a campaign against himself.
Good points, Jen. To kind of answer what you had just said, Barb, and what Jenny was talking about, what I felt when I was down there in South Florida and when I was in Key West, of course, that's not a perfect, that's different. But in the South Florida, because they get the Miami news, the impression that I got is there has been an ongoing division between Black Floridians and Cubano and white Floridians. And there has always been this division. Haitians align with the Black voters, and Puerto Ricans generally, the darker ones. The Cubanos and the white Floridians, there's always been this division. DeSantis is one of the first governors that actually is unapologetically racist against the Blacks and the Haitian individuals, which is the reason why he championed redrawing the districts to draw the Black congressional district out. So there is a lot of anger between the Black and the Black community, and the white. A lot of the white Floridians are racist in a Floridian kind of way. They like the lighter skinned Cubanos, but they don't like the darker ones, and they're very vocal about it. And so DeSantis, like Trump, has tapped into the white Floridians who maybe have been there a long time and don't like those darker immigrants coming in from the Caribbean and all those other places. And that's the feeling that I have gotten from that. So that's the reason I think that you're going to see, it's going to be a close race, but it just depends on which one he pisses off more. But in Texas, I can only go by unscientific data. it's to me, the Tejanos are going to be the ones that are going to determine the elections, and because those are the ones who just allowed kind of the Republicans to kind of they just agreed with them. But I think now it's gotten to the point where they are realizing, hey, what they're saying is actually kind of against us. And I'm hoping that will be, especially with the young ones, I've seen that. So I don't know, Jen, you want to add anything to that? We got about 6 minutes left.
Well, historically, one of the problems that the Tejano community has in Texas is they just don't turn out heavy for elections. And so it's not so much that they vote Republican, it's just that a lot of them sit out, and
Exactly.
especially the older generations. And so getting people to vote for a historically demonized population in Texas I saw that firsthand with some of the Tejano activists in North Texas, for example, in Northwest Texas, up in the Panhandle, that they spoke to that in several meetings. Our biggest deal is getting people to even register. And so out fear of, getting deported, getting arrested, getting,
so
Jenny, those
are against them, and so they don't register.
Yeah.
Good.
That's a very common theme in Texas.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons that Abbott is so been aggressive on border politics, which typically is an international thing, which is a non-governor thing, but he's thrusted himself in there saying, I can get you. It's a veiled threat. And Tejanos don't need to, if they were ever to make a difference in an election, understand that Beto understands border politics. He grew up and has lived his almost entire life in El Paso. He is very pro-Tejano. He'll be a very protective governor, and we won't see him wasting money pulling stunts like Abbott has done, and actually shove that money back into the school system where it belongs.
Very good point, Jenny. And I know we've talked a lot about this off camera, and I'm even talking to some people in North Carolina, and people who watch this and listen to this show, I really encourage you to go to the PBS, and they actually did a documentary on the Latinx community, or Latino, Hispanic, whatever term you use. Those are people who are upset about us for using different terms. Whatever term you use. Well,
it is interesting that the ones that object to it, that watch this show,
are not
are white.
Exactly.
Every one of them.
Well,
if I did a little humorous, like if there was a tremendous pushback from legitimate Latin community people saying that's a slur to us, I'd be the first one to say we won't use it on the show.
Sure.
But until like a wave of ethnically Latin people, Hispanic people, you white people that are trying to down low, shame us into not using it. All my friends that are in that community use the Latinx term and are cool with it. I have not met anybody that has said, hey, Jenny, I'd rather you not use that term. Because the moment they do that, I wouldn't use it around them.
Exactly. And those of us who remember, Barbara, you remember, and Jenny, you probably remember, there was a time before we used the term Hispanic. And once people started using the term Hispanic, there were Hispanics that were against it. They wanted to be called Chicanos. They wanted to be called, other terms. And it took a long time, especially in the 80s and early 90s, for Hispanic to become accustomed, especially with older, in my family, older individuals. Now, a pretty term. So Latinx is a kind of a newer term. If you don't like the term Latinx, don't use it. If you, whatever you use the term that you feel comfortable with.
Only reason it was adopted was just because of the gender indication, because if you Latina or Latino, you're being exclusive of one side of the binary or another. If you're Latinx, then you're just eliminating the gentrification because there's Hispanic Latinx people in politics on both sides of the equation, and just using the binary without getting into the trans identity. And whether it's AOC or whomever you're referring to, it's a simpler easier way of dealing. It's not like we say Hispanic and
exactly.
Hispanic we don't gender Hispanic.
And the reason and another reason, another reason that we don't use the term Hispanic is because not everyone speaks Spanish.
Right.
Not all Latinos and Latinas in America, in the United States, I'm sorry, because there's in Americas, do not speak Spanish, so they don't use the term Hispanic. So with that said, we only have about a minute and a half left. It has been a great show. I do want to say there's a person who's been commenting on our Facebook page, which I appreciate your comments, and they were debated on whether blue states were more wealthier and red states and all that kind of stuff. And on my long drive that I've been doing over Labor Day weekend, all I have to say is wherever I've been around the United States, I have never seen a Trump flag in front of a really nice house. I've never seen one. So if using a Trump flag as a reflection of success, it's not working, because people with really nice houses where I live in Myers Park, they don't have Trump signs in front of their houses. They do have them in trailers out in the country. So all I can go is by what I see there. And so that's all I can go by. So that's all Jenny, you want to say anything before we close out?
I will say some of those people out in the boondocks probably still believe Trump is president.
Yeah.
I mean, 8 million votes later and 74 court losses later. If you still believe crazy. That, you might be a cult.
And you know what? We have not tried to fool anyone. We are not trying to go after our demographic is probably not a undereducated Trump fan. If you watch us, wonderful, but that's not our market. And so, I am not, that's not who we're trying to go after. So anyway, with that said, let's go on a Brady Bunch screen in 30 seconds or less. Tell us where you're going to be over the next week. And it's been a great show. Go ahead, Jen.
I'm laying pretty low. The pride took a lot out of me. We had that a few weeks ago. I'll probably be a little busier towards the 17th, which is my birthday in September. So another trip around the sun for me. Woohoo. And doing a few political things, just trying to help out where I can in certain cases for the big push for the fall midterms. Other than that, there's not really any big events. I mean, other than all of October, as far as the Halloween festivities, and I'll make sure that as many women as possible can wear pants. And of all the things to debate.
Exactly.
Reproductive rights, marriage equality, all of that. That pastor from North Texas
here we go,
has to talk about pants, like articles of clothing. That to me is just how disconnected some people in America really are.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thanks. Barb?
I am basically trying to help Art get through his next 2 weeks. He's got the Chicago Marathon in 5 weeks. So the next.
How did he do this weekend?
Oh, he was second in his age group. And
wonderful. Congratulations.
Is a very fun race. They shut down 277 and from like 7 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock. Sure. Everybody was like, man, 277 is way more hilly when you're running. But everybody's more fun, and there were 3,600 and some odd people. There was a lot of people. He had fun. And he pushed it though. So now the next 2 weeks is hardcore, and then what they call starts tapering back for Chicago. So and then I can see my family, so that'll be good. So.
Wonderful. Well, it seems like you were just in Chicago. It's been already a year? Wow, that's incredible. All right. Well, I will be back in the wonderful, great state of North Carolina, as we say. At least we're not South Carolina. So I'll be back. I'll be back home in Charlotte. I just want to give a quick plug to Jenny's show, Two Queers in a Truck. Will be coming on about 30 minutes after this, and our next show will be the week before Jenny's birthday, and it's actually our Grito show 2022. we will be doing Who Has the Best Grito. Barb, you're welcome to do it. And maybe Mama Ruth will come back for a cameo. Who knows? And Jenny, if you want to do it, it's our Grito show. And it's in celebration of 16 de Septiembre, which is actually the Independence Day for our sister country, our neighbor country, Mexico. And then after that is Religion Dumbing Down America Part 2. And then we'll have Dr. B back for the last show of September for the annual Medicare Advantage show. All right. That's it. Anything? Right. Jen, you got some music? All right. There we go. I can hear that one. All right. See you next week. Thanks, y'all. Great show.
Safe trip.
Thanks for watching. And we have our music back, thanks to me, of course, the queen of the iPhone. But appreciate y'all watching. Otherwise, we would be just talking to ourselves, even though that would be pretty interesting. Y'all have a great week and be safe out there.
Bye.
Bye. Good show.
Yep.
Actually. Next up, thanks for watching Coffee and Pan Dulce. Next up is Two Queers in a Truck. Stay tuned.